Hello, everybody. Simon Dixon here. Welcome to episode, I believe we're 72 of Bank to the Future Live. We're going to be doing a shorter one today because we're having a few issues with Zoom. The whole world is using Zoom, and we upgraded our account. They charged us 3 times and they downgraded us to a basic account. So we're limited to 40 minutes and we took 5 minutes for the warm up. But that's okay. It means I can talk a little bit faster and go through things. So I'm just going to go through about 10 minutes of updates, and then we'll try and take the next 15 to 20 minutes to answer as many questions as you might have for me. So we've got, for me, the moderating. If you are on the live chat and you're joining us live right now, please do say hello. Let us know where you are coming in from, and we can check that everything's working okay. Also, let me know if there's any issues with sound or anything like that. And I'm just going to jump straight in with a few of the updates. So maybe you would have received an email from us right now. And in that email, we just listed a few updates. So just want to make sure that everything's on track. If you're new to Bank to the Future Live and our YouTube channel, I give a lot of content on Bitcoin, on economics, on finance, and all sorts of things, investing. I do that on my YouTube channel, Simon Dixon. This is just a show just for our Bank to the Future investors and clients and token holder community that want to ask us any questions, and we can give them updates on what we're actually up to. So that's the topic. Anything around Bank to the Future that you want to get answered, this is the place to do that. If you're watching the recording, please do subscribe, please do like, please do share. And if you're watching it live right now, hit that like button. One of my videos that we did last week got actually over 200, I think up to 250,000 views coming on. So really delighted to see that. And this is a much more smaller niche community where we speak with our investors and community about all things that are happening on Bank to the Future. So first thing, I'm just going to do a quick screen share on some things that I've got right now. We had a couple of coverage in Coindesk this week. We made a strategic investment in Blockpass, and Blockpass is going to be integrated with the Bank to the Future identity solution. You've seen in previous broadcasts we've done, we had guest Adam Vaziri. Adam Vaziri is a member of the Bank to the Future team. He's also one of the board members of Blockpass. And we decided that, to push our identity verification, security law verification, everything we built at Bank to the Future identity to the next stage, we would make a strategic investment in Blockpass. We can then focus on what we need to do because there's so many things we want to do on the Bank to the Future platform to meet our investors' needs, and they can focus on what they do best, and stronger. We can be a lot stronger together. So we made a strategic investment in the company so we can align our interests. And also we're going to be doing a deeper integration. Won't expect to see anything come live on that. And it won't affect if you've been doing your existing verifications through BF Identity. It won't affect that at all. It would just be affecting new users and anyone that needs to renew their verification. So nice to see Coindesk doing a bit of coverage there as well. Let me see what else we got for you. Also, many of you missed the Series B round. We're not making that public on the platform right now, but if you write into support, we can get you a special link for those that missed it. We're delighted to have over 350 new investors and new shareholders in Bank to the Future. So congratulations and welcome to everybody. If you invested in that funding round, head over to the Investor Zone. And on the Investor Zone, I recorded a special video just for the new and existing shareholders of Bank to the Future. So make sure you check that out on exactly what to expect next. So thanks for everybody that joined that. And if you missed that, just write into support. Our support is got a bit more manageable right now. In previous videos, we had to apologize because of some of the delays, but we're now getting a good response rate and things seem to be back on track. And we're just getting through some of those previous ones. So things are going in the right direction there. What else have I got for you? We had many people write to us that are using decentralized finance, and they were asking if they can purchase Bank to the Future tokens in a more decentralized way. So for those of you that are really into the DeFi space right now, we've now made it, it's now available. The community made it available where you can purchase BnkToTheFuture tokens or sell them using Uniswap. And therefore you can put them on your account. Once you've got them on your account and you stake them, if you stake 10,000 BnkToTheFuture tokens, you get priority access to all deals. You get 50% discount off any of your secondary market buy or sell orders. When you pay with BFT, and if you stake 100,000 into the platform, every time you make an investment, for every $1,000 invested, you get 1,000 BnkToTheFuture token bonus. For those of you that invested in Celsius, which was over 1,000 investors that invested over 20 million, it's not too late. If you purchase your BnkToTheFuture tokens, stake the 100,000 tokens to the platform. We're going to be going through the closing process probably in the next 2 weeks or so. We're just working with the Celsius team, and there were quite a few investors that we had to try and get in that missed it. We're just working on that process right now. But it's not until it closes. So if you purchase those tokens, stake them now, then you can actually still get those bonuses as well. So that's great to see the decentralized token space progressing there. What else did we have? We made an announcement on email notifications. So many of you wanted email notifications, but only from the company. You didn't want a notification from every single person posting. And when our support got behind, many people using the forums for support. A reminder, the forums are not meant to be used for support, but we understand when we're behind on support, people start using those, our investors start using those. So the solution that we came up with is you don't get a notification anymore for every person posting in the investor zone or the discussion forums. You only get a notification when the company or a team member actually posts an update. But you can still check out the forum and see all the posts from other investors. We just won't be clogging up your email. So if you unfollowed any company pages because you were getting too many emails, make sure you follow those again, because you might miss the company updates if you don't do those. So make sure you do that. That was an update there. What else have we got for you? Why is my mouse messing around? Secondary markets, we've now got approximately, how many have we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, about 10 or so. We have Bitso and RTM. Kraken is starting to catch up with Bitfinex in terms of the most amount of trades. This is all in order of in terms of the most amount of trades that are happening. It used to be Ripple Labs second, but now Kraken is heading up in terms of the most number of trades, probably because of their recent announcement about their banking license progress that they've been made. But we started to see Kraken climb up in the ranking, and we're looking forward to, we've now got the price floor. So we're looking forward to building out our portfolio features next, which means it's the most requested feature from our investors to update the portfolio so you can have much better tracking software. But also we're going to be releasing new features where you can automatically invest in many companies in a much more easy user experience. So we'll continue to progress and push with the secondary market. We also announced a partnership with First Digital. First Digital is a trust company, and we've moved over much of our client funds to a trust structure because we want legal segregation, especially if you watch some of my theories on what's happening next with banking. While it doesn't fully protect from any bank bail-ins, it does actually create legal segregation. And so we're looking to give as many protections to our investors with their deposits. And moving over to First Digital was the first step in that partnership. We look forward to rolling that out. And that's also going to be used in many of our upcoming retirement plan B products. And we're building out that partnership, more announcements to come there. In October, we'll be actually looking to release that free video series on investing in the Great Depression of 2020. So make sure that you're subscribed to the YouTube channel for BnkToTheFuture and Simon Dixon to keep up to date with that. Many emails asking about that. We'll be bringing those we'll be releasing those videos in October. Also, multi-currency deposits via Swift. So now you can go to the platform, head over to the funds section, and you can just make a bank transfer. You can deposit funds in any currency supported by Swift. We'll automatically convert those to what we call USD Star. And USD Star is backed by a bunch of stable coins and US dollars themselves. But now you can just take your local currency, do an international transfer via Swift, and we'll do all the hard work, make sure that they end up as dollars in the end. And you can then obviously withdraw those in the future as your returns emerge with either fiat currencies or cryptocurrencies, Tether at the moment, more to come as we start to expand those features. Also, as you know, as we're building out the portfolio section, we released just a temporary solution in the portfolio whereby you can see all of the transactions. The reason we did that is because many of you invest multiple times and maybe you only go through with one of those transactions, but you might have attempted to make 10 and then decided that it wasn't right for you. You were receiving about 9 canceled transactions because you didn't actually make the payment, but the one where you did make the payment, that would actually be marked as paid. So now you can just head over to the portfolio section of your account, see all those transactions and make sure that everything is as it says. And of course, you can confirm that with support. Feel free to submit that. As we said, the response time is moving in the right direction now. Still got a few more to get through, but everything's moving as it should be. As I said, in terms of portfolio news, what is this one? I think we got a pop-up that came up instead. But this was meant to be, oh, here we go. Yeah, it's just some advertising on top of the article. Kraken made an announcement. As you know, we invested in the early round, so one of the highest performing investments on BnkToTheFuture. God, we're covered with advertising. Going to have to start using the Brave browser, I think. And they're looking to actually upgrade to their digital bank in Wyoming. Wyoming, if you don't know the history, Caitlin Long, a legendary Bitcoin community figure. She actually has been working with regulators and legislators relentlessly on her belief around rehypothecation and the problems with fractional reserve banking. And new legislative changes have actually made it so that you can have banks which actually operate off less rehypothecation and fractional reserve banking. And Kraken's actually taken advantage of that and actually starting to look for offering crypto banking and all sorts of stuff. Also, look out for several announcements. We've been working on some products together with Kraken. I'm going to stop sharing my screen now, and we'll take as many questions as we can get through until Zoom actually stops working. I think we'll have a little countdown for me, though. I don't know if you can see that, so we can keep an eye on that. But if you've got any questions in the AMA, now is the time to get those answered. Famida, have you got anything in the live chat or maybe in previous comments as well?
Yes, I do. That was really quick. What a quick update.
I can actually speak quick without, and same effect as well, without all the additional words.
I think people also like the drama as well, though. All right, so a question from Brian. Brian's actually also Brian, where are you? I'm sorry. Brian McKinnon. McKeon, sorry. We know this fella. Has been with us for quite some time. He has asked, when will the Chronicled pitch be open to US investors?
We're actually trying to get that signed off right now. So we're working with the BMI team. They had some additional things that need to happen just to cross the T's and dot the I's. We should get an update on that. My hope is that we can give you some good news by next week, but at the moment it's not actually signed off for the purposes of US investors. So if you are an existing investor in Chronicled, our promise is that we will make sure that we don't put that live until we got an answer on whether we can get that signed off for US investors. Nothing to do with Chronicled, it's just a bit of regulatory things that we have to do and filings and things like that. So we're just trying to get that live. We thought it would have been signed off. There was a bit of a hurdle. So we sent out the pads and the existing investors in Chronicled, not from the US. And hopefully we'll get that signed off next week and we'll get that out to US. Then we'll do another pad, give you 48 hours head start after existing investors. And then we'll make that listed on the platform for all other non-premium members as well.
Thank you. Question from John H. I see that Blockpass uses a pass token. Any plan to merge this token with BFT to give BFT a further utility?
No plans at the moment, but Adam is putting on his structuring hat and coming up with all sorts of ideas. So we look forward to seeing what we can do there. But at the moment, there's no concrete plans on what to do. They're very much two separate things. And the pass token actually works off of whitelisting, being that it is a KYC play. So it works in a slightly different structure. But our first job is to get the integration moving, and then we can start looking at how we can work in more strategic ways. And then we look forward to actually bringing some of our securities laws work to the Blockpass app. And yeah, so really don't expect anything for the next year or so. We've got a lot on our roadmap that we want to achieve before we can actually execute much there.
Cool. A question has come through from Telegram. Is there any update on BXA/Bithumb?
Yeah, so the news here is that there was some public information around Bithumb being raided by police, apparently. We don't know the exact full story. And BXA was a previous deal that we had on Bank to the Future. We've actually got our legal team working on it right now to look at what the situation is. We've actually written to the team to try and get an update. That's the publicly available information. For those of you who are actually investors, we'll actually post the non-public information in there. But at the moment, it's with our legal team to try and get an update, try and discover whether it's actually rumors or fact or what it actually is, because we just don't really know at this stage, and we haven't had good communication. So we've sent off those legal letters, and we'll update those shareholders once we have that update.
Nice, thank you. I have a question here from James. Are you concerned with holding Tether whilst the US government is going after them?
Well, there are risks involved in Tether. There are risks involved in certain other things, but at the moment, all the liquidity is in Tether. So the market is speaking and the market isn't factoring in those risks at the moment because no matter how many other stable coins are out there, Tether still has all the liquidity. Having said that, we're starting to see a lot of progress with other stable coins. So we're also a shareholder in Circle, which has a USDC stable coin. And through our partnership with First Digital, we've been working with GUSD, which is to be able to mint those as well. So we are looking at diversification as a shareholder in Bitfinex, which is also has the same directors as Tether. We will watch that watch that carefully, but we're looking at diversifying different risks. And Tether has a lot of the liquidity, so most people are still using Tether. And if the situation changes in any way, then we'll look to update that and diversify accordingly. But yeah, the situation still emerges. From what we can see, Bitfinex is extremely well capitalized. So you know, we don't know exactly what will come from this, but it's usually a money grab from the government to actually get settlements in these situations. So we don't have any other additional information other than what's publicly available.
Okie dokie. A straightforward question here from John. I'm sorry, I'm not going to try to pronounce your last name and butcher it. But they have asked, can I open an account in New York State?
Basically the reason that New York is an issue for many people is because crypto businesses have to have a bit license. But we're not actually if you could put us into a category in terms of regulations, we are a securities business. We offer certain types of crypto services which are restricted to New York and US because we don't have the necessary licenses. We don't have a BIT license at BnkToTheFuture, so we can't perform those tasks. But we do, via our partnership through BMI, which we are a shareholder in for full disclosure, you can actually onboard through BnkToTheFuture.com. You can register with BMI and you can purchase securities and use our platform for certain activities that can be used by residents of New York. You can't purchase on the secondary market. That requires a different type of license that we don't have at this stage. But what you can do is you can purchase primary market offerings, so new deals that come on our platform. You can't deposit funds through cryptocurrency or anything like that. But you can sell after the 1 year lock-in period on the secondary market if the deal is on the secondary market.
Okay, I actually didn't know that about New York.
Yeah, New York is one of the hardest places. So some of our portfolio companies have got BIT licenses. I think, I'm not sure I don't think Kraken actually has one. I think Coinbase has one. I think Circle might have one. Maybe Ripple Labs has one. A few of our portfolio companies got that, but it's a very, very tricky one to achieve. And it can be very restrictive in terms of what you can do with New York. So New York is officially the hardest place in the world to actually get involved. And there's no surprises there because there's a lot of lobbying effort from the most powerful force in the world, which is Wall Street.
Okay. Question from Gustavo, our regular. They have asked, I see there's 6 days left on the Series B and the card payment option has disappeared. The Swift deposit is there, but if I send through Swift in the next 6 days, it will take a few days to clear. Will the funds still be allocated if the close date arrives first?
Sure, yeah, we'll make sure that actually happens. So if any of you initiate that, we'll make sure that we get that through to you. The card payments is actually a crypto problem. We've just encountered a new challenge, our next challenge, and that is that Prime Trust, our partner, they've just been told that the card processor that they're using can no longer work with crypto companies. So this is war from the establishment in traditional finance, again, on crypto companies. But they've already found a new provider. They estimate that it will take about 1 to 2 months to integrate with a new merchant processor. So our processor has had some issues there. So we've had to disable card payments temporarily. Sorry about that, but yeah, it's just the nature of being involved in financial innovation. The existing incumbents tend to shut these services down and you have to jump around. And this is one of the reasons why many of our services get delayed at BnkToTheFuture. We know what you want, we know what we need to build, and then suddenly for regulations, this new hurdle comes along and we have to spend another 4 months integrating with a new partner, payment processor. Everything's getting better and better and better, but yeah, we just noticed that. So no card payments, unfortunately. You can still use stable coins. You can still use Bitcoin. You can still use Ethereum, or you can use that multi-currency deposit, send it via Swift. It will take a bit more time. And if for any reason the pitch expires in the time you're trying to do that, then just write to support. We'll do our best to accommodate. Yeah, 6 days should be plenty of time to actually do that.
I do wonder though, Simon, why is it that people don't use Bitcoin?
I think one of the reasons is people prefer to actually save their Bitcoin than spend their Bitcoin. And so most people use Bitcoin for savings and use fiat to actually spend. The reason being is because they know that their dollars are going to be worth less in the future, and they believe that their Bitcoin might be worth more in the future. And so logically, there's a law called Gresham's law, which states that you spend shit money and keep good money. And so I think some people might be doing that. But other people as well, they like to share a bit of Bitcoin. They might be short-term speculators and they might decide that Bitcoin is the price that right now, and then they might buy it back at a cheaper price. So we've got many, many different investors that are really savvy and smart in terms of what they do, and they've got all their own different approaches and strategies. But Bitcoin's always the easiest way, and you can always buy it back if you've got an easy on-ramp some way. And at Bank to the Future, we will actually developing a much better on-ramps as well. In the coming months, we'll be making some announcements about some partnerships as well. So really looking forward to that. And we've actually got some new license applications that we'll be making in order to offer much, much better services around that crypto to fiat off and on-ramps.
So what would you suggest is actually the easier, maybe another option for somebody to invest with?
I think one of the easiest options is just simply making, if you've decided how much you're going to allocate to investing, making that initial bank transfer. And then when you deposit it to the account, then we will convert that to USD Star. It can then come in and out as fiat or Tether or crypto. I think Zoom's given us the 10-minute nudge. So we'll carry on until we get cut off. Or if you've already got Bitcoin, if you've already got ETH, it's just that onboarding process, that on-ramps process. And our job is to try and make that easier for you. And that's what we're going to be focusing on, in the coming months as well. But it all depends on what you've actually got already. We have had a lot of new customers to the crypto space. So, since I've been doing my retirement plan B videos and sharing people how I'm investing during the Great Depression of 2020, I've noticed, really new people to the crypto space as well. So I suggest make that first initial bank transfer with the money that you've allocated for investing. Then you can hold that on the account and you can always go in and out with crypto, and we can create a nice on-ramp for you there.
All right. So, okay. So moving on swiftly, Cantab Chab has asked, are there any updates on US accredited investor definition? Will this be incorporated into the platform certification, and when? I still have 2 years to be accredited in the old definition.
Yeah, this is a really good point. I'm going to have a word with the legal team. So the process from here is that the SEC has just announced a slightly updated definition of accredited investor, which is awesome. Thank you very much, SEC. Thank you very much, Jay Clayton. We'd like to see more, but we appreciate it, and we'll take that as well. So there's now a third definition of who can invest in the US. We've got, I'll make sure that is over to the legal team. We've got our next weekly legal catch up tomorrow. And I'll make sure that that's an agenda item. Once they've done that, they'll have to specify it. We'll have to get the US lawyers to do a legal opinion, rectify it. And then we hand it over to the developers. Once it goes over to the developers, we then got to fight for what gets first in an endless list of over 200 features that we want to develop, that all of our team want to develop, that we have to fight through in our scarce resources. We're also interviewing for a bigger technology team, but sometimes even that doesn't solve it, because it takes a long. More developers doesn't necessarily mean more productivity, because you still got to train them. You got to make sure they understand different parts of the application, and that can slow things down when the existing team has to train the new team. So, I like to just share these details with you because I think it's important for, as a customer, you don't need to know any of these things as an investor. But I think these AMAs are really about just being transparent and letting you know some of the challenges, and you can join us on these challenges that we're trying to overcome for you. But there's a lot more to it than just simply flicking a switch and making that happen.
Yeah, there actually was a question in the live chat about jobs, applying for jobs. The career page is up. I'll post it in the live chat. But somebody's asked, is everyone who makes an application, will they all get a response?
We probably won't be able to respond to everybody. No, we can't do that because we have far too many applications. So everyone that we think meets the criteria that we've laid out, we will actually be going through those, and the HR team will be doing that. But unfortunately, we don't have the resources within that team to actually be responding to every single application.
Righty-ho then, we have 6 minutes left, and I guess we can just end on the final questions. A couple of them came through, which is what is in the pipeline for Bank to the Future in terms of new deals or anything else to look forward to?
Yeah, so we've been working, so with the 5 deals that we've been talking about for a while, we've got one coming up next week, which has already been out to the priority access deal members. We just talked about the US issue that we're just trying to resolve to get that signed off. We got 2 what I would call big household names coming up, but obviously those normally take a little longer. There's a lot more due diligence to do, a lot more things to actually consider. And then we've got about, I think we've got 6 companies we're working with that I would put in the medium-sized startup space. So we've got a nice range of early stage, lower valuation companies, medium-sized, medium valuation companies, and more established companies. We've got a nice mix coming up for you. And in October, we're really going to be focusing on getting out that retirement plan B product as well, which a lot of people have been asking for. So lots of exciting things coming up. We really just wanted to take a pause to get our support back on track and actually deliver for our existing customers before we actually start putting a new deal online. So I think we're about a week away of having, all that up to date, all KYC and everything, and those that were waiting for that, that's all up to date. Now it's just making sure that we get through those before we create more challenges and put more deals on. But all in motion, we got plenty coming, and we'll be releasing more secondary markets as well, and that retirement plan B.
That's it. That's it for today. We had people from New Orleans join. Somebody asked if that's actually the son behind Simon Dixon.
Yeah, this isn't a Zoom background. This is actually the real deal. Yeah, and you'll notice if I do it a little bit later, it will just be a black background. But I do have, I've been talking about it for a while, but we do have a really exciting studio build happening behind me right now, or in front of me right now. And that's all going to be happening. I just chucked the builders out for a so, but we're working on a lot of things, and we'll actually be a much more professional setup at the moment. The microphone hopefully is better than what it was before. This is a desktop computer, and we've actually got professional cameras, lighting. I look a bit darker than I would if the lighting was set up properly. But it's all coming. It's all coming through. Expect about another month from now, expect to really see a big push in terms of the quality and the studio come through. So looking forward to delivering that. I think that's pretty much all of our questions then. Hopefully being forced by Zoom to actually speak a lot faster is a lot better, because I think we covered a lot of ground without all the additional gibberish that I normally cover. And hopefully you enjoyed that new format. So let us know what you think. If you are watching this recording, then use the comment section to ask any questions that you might have. We'll try and pick those up next week. And I think we might be taking a break next week. I'm not sure. Yeah, so next week, I think it will be 1 week after, but we'll let you know in the newsletter. And make sure you are getting those updates and subscribe to the newsletter, which you can do in the settings section of your account if you unsubscribe for any reason, so that we can notify you about all of these things. So thank you very much for all those questions, Sumita, and we'll see you on the next episode, which I think that's going to do it for episode 72 of Bank to the Future Live.
Bye.
Bye-bye.